Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Like the musk deer that keeps on searching for the fragrance, man searches for happiness in the world and thinks that the happiness is coming from different places, be it wealth, be it relations, be it position, power, fame, popularity, recognition, control. But at the end, none of these permanently give any kind of happiness to man. Temporarily, he feels he is becoming happy. Like the dog that goes on chewing on a dry bone, eventually leading to the bleeding of its own mouth, its own gums. And he starts thinking that this blood is coming from the bone which he is enjoying. But over a period of time, his gums pain and hurt. And that is when the dog realizes that there is no juice in the bone, it's a dry bone. All that it is enjoying or appearing to enjoy is its own blood. The musk deer finally, after running around in the forest, gets tired of its doing and not doing, achieving and not achieving. And finally, it comes to a position of rest where it suddenly discovers that the scent that it was searching for was coming from its own navel and not from anywhere outside. So that is the idea of Mriga Trishna, it is called in our scriptures. The thirst or the desire of the deer, which thinks that the scent is coming from elsewhere and keeps on chasing after that scent, but finally realizes that it was never outside it. It was very much within itself. Likewise, man, after all the pursuit in the world of dukkha, sukha, labha, jaya, ajaya, akritam, kritam, as it was said yesterday, all the doing and not doing, finally comes to a conclusion that there is nothing much over here to enjoy or entertain, and concludes as the man grows spiritually that true happiness lies within. So he turns his gaze within and finally is able to develop this kind of understanding. In our scriptures, two ways we can withdraw from the world. One is virakti, another is vairagya, said Bhagavan to me once. Because we, on our own, just like that, we don't withdraw. We keep chasing after things. But the difference between virakti and vairagya, he explained to me, is vairagya is an inside out process where you develop an understanding of the temporariness of the world and the fleeting pleasures. And by carefully analyzing, observing, understanding, and learning from others' experiences, you come to a conclusion that I must develop dispassion and detachment. That is an inside out process. Vairagya springs from within and then it takes over your without. Whereas virakti is an outside in process, he said. You don't easily give into spiritual things. You want to be worldly and enjoy the material world. But then one day something shocking happens. Somebody whom you loved and trusted so much betrays you. Somebody whom you gave everything cheats you or harms you. All that you thought was yours is no more yours. Or you lose a beloved to an accident or a disease. Such kind of shocks in life also turn the man from outside to inside, from without to within. So these shocks are placed in our lives when we are not listening to the voice within. Then if divine is very kind to you, he will place these obstacles and shocks in your way, so that for that moment you will pause and you will analyze and understand that you are going wrong. So difficulties and obstacles and so-called setbacks in life are opportunities in disguise. They famously say, man's adversity is God's opportunity. And that is what it means. When adversities come in life, we turn towards God or start looking within. And this virakti is deliberate sometimes. God does it. As in Bhagavatam, when Pandavas were, Pandavas had lost everything and they were roaming in the forests. And that time, Yudhishthira asks Krishna, how do we earn your grace? How do you grace your devotees? And in Bhagavatam, this mention comes. Of course, it's also written by the same author, Vedavyasa. So in Bhagavatam, Vyasa says that Krishna replies to Dharmaraja, who was already going through tremendous troubles, isn't it? They had lost everything. They were being cheated by their own kith and kin. Even they were being, people were trying to assassinate them, murder them. All kinds of things they faced. All kinds of humiliation and embarrassment. At that time, when he asks, Krishna replies, Yasyaham mad anugrahanami harishye tadhanam shanaihi tato dhanam tyajasyasya swajanaha dukkha dukkhitam. First line, first verse, it says, the one whom I want to give my grace, I take away everything from them first, especially wealth. Harishye tadhanam shanaihi, not immediately, slowly, gradually, without their knowledge, I'll take it away. And tato dhanam tyajasyasya swajanaha dukkha dukkhitam. And the one whose wealth is all gone by whatever reason. Somebody cheated you, you lost it in foolish pursuits or whichever way or there was a disaster or a war or a conflict. Whatever happened. When you are without any wealth, what happens to you? Swajanaha dukkha dukkhitam. Your own people will trouble you. They won't help you. In fact, they will turn away from you, walk away from you, leaving you all by yourself. This is what I do when I start gracing people. I create that obstacle in their path. So they know who is who, whom to trust and whom not to trust, who are yours and who are not yours. That clarity I bring to them by taking away all that they have. Because sometimes we believe that people love us for ourselves, but sometimes it is not true. They love us for what we can do for them. As long as they can benefit from us, they love us. If they don't benefit from us, then the same people suddenly turn against us. It is not a very uncommon thing. Everybody in their life, in small or big ways, would have experienced this. So that is the beginning of things. He is starting to grace you, taking away everything. Then he says that what happens to this man who has lost everything? He tries his best, like a drowning man, trying to regain his wealth and position and power in every way possible. He will still try and try and try. So what do I do to such a person who is still trying? I make sure that all his endeavors fail in regaining his old ways. He says, Sa yada vitato dyogo nirvanna syadhanehaya. The one who becomes a failure in everything. He tries and tries and tries and tries. Finally, he gains nothing out of it. He's nirvanna sad. He becomes, in a way, depressed or detached, whichever way you can think. He gives up, basically. He gives up, saying, this is no more my cup of tea. Nirvanna syadhanehaya. Because his wealth is lost, he cannot make any more money. Nobody is going to help him because he is the beggar. And all his good friends and relations who were so far, doting over him, they all leave him all of a sudden, abandon him. And he tries his best to regain everything, but he fails every single time he tries it. So no scope for him to succeed in material ways. That's what I ensure. I make sure there are failures. Then what happens? Matkritaha, matparaha krita maitrasya. When he has nobody to talk to, no relations, no friends of fair weather, they are not there anymore. Where does he go? He turns to the company of my devotees. Finally, he comes to my devotees because that is where he finds peace, respite, hope, courage, and devotion. So he comes to my devotees then. Otherwise, he is happy with his parties and clubs and friends and all this high-flying life. Only then he turns to a temple or a devotees or God. Matparaihi krita maitrasya karishye madanugraham, he says. When he makes friends with my devotees, I bless him finally. Karishye Madanugraham. That is when I bless him. Otherwise, I do not bless him. So if you go and ask God, God bless me. A lot of people ask me. And my standard reply is blessings. Because I don't like writing names and writing, the concluding remarks and all that niceties. I start with blessings and end with blessings. Now you know what blessings come with. The price of those blessings that you ask for. Yes, you'll get blessings when you're not running behind the world anymore, when you are in the company of good devotees, and your mind is completely absorbed in the divine. Then it doesn't matter whether you have wealth or you don't have wealth. How does it matter? But those who are pursuant of wealth and material pleasures and thinking that is what will give them happiness and run away from the company of good people, devotees, and good things, if God wants to grace them also out of His infinite compassion, then this is what He's going to do. He is going to take everything away so that you have nothing to attract people with. And finally, there is nobody who wants to talk to you except sajjan, sadhus, good people, because they are not interested in your wealth and position and power and name, fame, your celebrity status. They are not interested in any of this. They are interested in, if you are interested in God, I am interested in you. Let us be friends. That is their way of friendship. So you start making friends with such right people, and that is when you really receive my true grace. That is how you should think. So idea is that in this world we keep searching for happiness or we keep searching for success, but it is mostly a futile search because it remains only for some time, like a magic show. None of it is real. It says swapna indriya jalavat. Think of it as a dream in which everything appears to be real but nothing is real. And also like a magic show where things appear to be real but none of these are real. So to that extent only you engage with the world with this complete awareness that none of this is going to last. Because if you get too invested, then you're going to hurt yourself. And that's definitely going to happen, whoever you are. But our emotional dependencies are such, like the dog, we go on biting the bone. Our emotional dependency. Somehow we feel that our happiness will come from the next person. And we are so emotionally dependent that even if we are hurting ourselves, we still go on living with them or dealing with them and not leaving their side. Why? Because we are so emotionally weak and dependent. Whereas this devotee has no, as somebody asked, whether emotion is also devotion. Because I feel emotional about you and about God. I said emotions are one kind, devotion is one kind of emotion, but it is highest type of quality of emotion, very pure emotion. But emotions bring positives and negatives. However, devotion is supposed to be equanimous. In devotion, things happen well for you, you are happy. Don't work out for you, you do not complain. Yesterday I said, don't complain. Chinta. Simply bothering yourself with what can go wrong. There are some people, they have no problem in life, that is the problem for them. They feel, am I alive at all? Because all through I had so many problems, it felt like I had something to wake up and do. And suddenly all the problems are gone, I'm bored. I don't know what to do with myself whole day. I have nothing to worry and nothing to... So they start worrying about the fact that they have nothing to worry about. I've seen a lot of people like that, especially women. There's nothing to bother, they will create something to bother about. Because then they feel, yes, I have something to do today and I am alive and I am myself, this is my identity. And nothing to do, I keep saying, just stay calm and there's nothing to do, take a walk, do some puja, have your lunch, read the scripture. That sounds like it is too boring a life. There should be some tragedy, some excitement. Then that is why they keep going from one wedding to another, one party to another, because they have to keep themselves bothered. And the worst part is, even in our families I've seen, behind the backs, they will talk such ill about each other. Oh, that lady, she's like that, he like that, their family is like that. The moment they come to the wedding, oh, how are you? How long? We haven't seen you. I have seen that, especially women. Men are also maybe like that, but men are little more straightforward, At least they tell you. Women, behind just 2 minutes back, they will be bickering and, complaining about the same lady. 2 minutes later, when they end up in the same place, on the same stage, they behave as if they are like friends from many lives. Hypocrisy. I've seen that. It's not that I'm talking just like that. You also know it happens. Why? Because emotional dependencies. You don't want to get ostracized from that club, that kitty party, those friendships, those relations, those circles. Many times I used to complain even to Amma, why do you have to go there and talk to them when they are not nice? Then she would say, "Arey, we have to live in the society. We have to talk to people. How can we live all by ourselves? We have to maintain relations." Then suffer. Why make relations with those who will tell two good things and four bad things about you? Why deal with them at all? I would say, be done with it. Good riddance. No. That sense of security or whatever false sense of belonging and that emotional comfort that you find in the company of others, even if it's a wrong company. So that is how things happen in the world. Your emotional dependencies and then all the worries that come with it, the sorrow that comes with it. So get rid of all your desires and dependencies. Be free. Sukhi Shantaha, he says, become happy and peaceful. Because what's the point in going on worrying? Then he says, ultimately the cause of all this confusion is the idea of body. That you are the body or the body is yours. If you are not the body, half of the truth is that. Bhagwan used to say, you say, I am a man, that is half truth. Or I am human is half truth. I am not an animal is the second half. When you are a human, you cannot behave like an animal. So tell, I am a man and not an animal. This is full truth, he used to say. Likewise, the full truth is, I am not the body, and body is also not mine. But this body is mine only, I am caring for it. I said, yes, body is like a residence for temporary residence, like a hotel room allotted to you for a certain time. Beyond that, don't have to have attachment to the body. Now, with this body, we enjoy pleasures and pains. With this body, we have achievements and failures. With this body, we have, enjoy all these emotions and even give birth to our babies. So it becomes so very strong an attachment that just to develop this idea, Naham Deho, Name Deho, will take lifetimes. Lifetimes. The only time I've heard people who do not want their bodies when it is having some incurable illness like cancer, it is very painful, they are unable to do anything. That is the only time they pray, I don't want to be this body, please give me freedom from this body, take me away, they say. But they never said that when times were very good. When their body was helping them enjoy the pleasures of the world, they were looking beautiful, handsome. Nobody said, why I need this, but please take me away, give me freedom. Nobody asked. Only in the old age, the lying in a hospital bed, nobody wants to talk to you. That is when you say, I am not the body, I don't want this body, please take this away. That is the time they say. Otherwise, in good times, nobody says that I am not the body, the body is not mine. That is the problem with human mind. It is very selfish. It only wants what it wants. It doesn't care about others and the things. That is the nature of it. Mind is selfish. Heart, as I say, so consciousness is selfless. So if you operate through the mind, whatever you do, even if you say, how much I have done for you, it's because you wanted to do it. Many parents tell children, how much we have done for you. The child did not ask the parents to do. But parents did not because they had great selfless affection for child. They had their sense of joy that comes from fulfillment, that comes from doing something for your children. But then they tried to, in a way, present it as if it was a selfless duty that they have done. It's not true. It's not true. Children also can read through all that. So that is the idea that till body is there and body relationships are there, it is very difficult to be selfless. It will make you selfish only. Because the preservation of the body, yoga kshema, will not leave you. But you have to get rid of it and think, Bodho Ham, I am the ultimate awareness, consciousness, and confirmed way, not theoretical way. Not this Smashana Vairagya, Virakti that comes from cancer in your body, not that kind of Vairagya. It is all the time you are feeling that I am just dweller within this body. Body is like a moving house. And that was a rented house, not even my own. So to that extent. Like when you enter a rented house, you don't want to spend too much in decorating and maintaining the house. You are here only for so much time, as long as whatever needed you will do. You don't overtly spend money on interiors and modifications. You're not supposed to. Nobody does that. Because they think, why spend money on somebody else's house? When we build our house, we will put all these things, nice things there. That's how our ideas are. Then why is this body, which is also a rented, borrowed house, we borrowed it from our parents or whatever, why do we need to spend so much on this body is the question. Yes, some maintenance basics required is done. It's a leased car. You use it, but don't overtly spend on it. It's a rented home. You can only decorate it so much and spend so much time and money on it. Beyond that, we don't want to. That is why that clarity has to be confirmed clarity. This unconfirmed clarity, unclear thoughts will lead to confusion. Then he says, Kaivalyam Niva, they are only that one without the second, the self which pervades everything, Kshetrajna, in all the Kshetras, and remember that, and stop remembering what you did, what you did not do, what you wanted to achieve, what you did not achieve. Go on thinking like that. That's going to lead you to trouble. Just go with the flow is what all this was yesterday's. Now today under page number 113, 11.7 shloka, it says, आ ब्रह्म स्तंभ पर्यंतम अहम एवेति निश्चयी निर्विकल्पः शुचिः शांतः प्राप्ता अप्राप्त विनिर्वृत्तः. He says, a Brahma Stamba Paryantam. From that Brahma, the creator whom we call it Prajapati Brahma, not the Brahman, the supreme consciousness, the creator Brahma, to a blade of grass. Stamba Paryantam, till the blade of a grass. What is happening? Aham eva iti nishchayi. You alone are everything. You are that consciousness that pervades the Brahma as well as small insignificant blade of grass. Everything is made of the same consciousness. Remember that. Don't see the outer forms. See the inside, the inner essence, which is consciousness. And know it for sure, nishchayi. Not as an intellectual understanding, but an experiential feeling. And nirvikalpa, what is the nature of the self? We have read it in so many shlokas before. It is nirvikalpaha. It is without any modifications. It is the same. It doesn't become happy one day, sad another day, excited one day, depressed another day, friendly one day, animosity on another day. It doesn't, those changes don't happen in the self. So you are nirvikalpa. It means anytime you are behaving different from this, you are not being yourself. These are the ways we understand whether we are being ourselves or not. Shuchihi, it is pure. And to me, Bhagavan defined purity is equal to selflessness. It is selfless. Pure means selfless. Then Shantaha, because it is selfless, it is peaceful. Desires are the cause of all the disturbance. So because it is Shuchihi, pure, selfless, it is peaceful, Shantaha. And it is free, Nivruttaha, from what? Prapta, Aprapta. What I have achieved, what I have not achieved. Both these ideas don't trouble the self. All that I set out to achieve, have I achieved all that? If I did not achieve, the regret and remorse and sadness and anger and frustration, none of this is me. Way is nirvikalpa, unmodified, pure and peaceful. This is my nature. If this is not what I am experiencing, it means I am doing something wrong. Every time I don't feel pure and selfless, every time I don't feel peaceful and calm, every time I don't feel steady and equanimous, I am deviating from my original state. This is how one should know. So anybody who goes around here and gets disturbed by things, what should the person do? An alarm bell should ring within their heads. We have these buzzers and bells. It should ring. Oh, I'm deviating from my true nature. I'm supposed to be self-equanimous, calm, steady, pure. Why am I behaving differently? It means I'm being wrong. In some way, I'm not being my true nature. That should help put us on an alert and make us pause, think, collect ourselves and come back to the state again. Yes, disturbance will happen like the waves on the surface of the ocean. When winds blow, waves form and fall. But that time when you are getting carried away by the waves, ups and downs, you get this understanding, you get this alarm in your head. A bell rings in your head saying, look out, watch out. You are deviating from your original self. Then you take the plunge within, go to the deep sea within, the sea of calmness, purity and steadiness, and be that. Let the surface, whatever happen is happening. And you will develop a sense of distance, as if everything is happening around you and you are encapsulated in a glass capsule. It doesn't affect you anymore, whatever is happening on the surface. You feel like that. You see it, everything happening. You feel almost it is real, but it is going to hit you or touch you, but it doesn't touch you. You feel that some kind of an insulation, a spiritual insulation, which does not allow things to come and touch you anymore. That is how I feel. That is how the Gyanis feel. They go through the world and its motions. You can't avoid that. When you are in the world, things will happen to you. But when things are happening, you are not getting affected. That is the way of the Gyanis. And even if you get temporarily affected, quickly you are able to regain your composure because that bell rings in your head. This is not your true nature. Watch out, get back to your true nature, set it right. So you keep doing those course corrections every now and then till it becomes a habit to stay in the center. You never get fluctuated unless something very big happens. Even then that fluctuation is temporary. That day somebody gave the formula, FIR, frequency of such fluctuations, intensity of fluctuations and the recovery from such fluctuations. That is the nature, that is the way you can assess your spiritual progress. How frequent are these fluctuations? How intense are these fluctuations? And how quickly you recover from these fluctuations? That is the measure of your spiritual progress. So this prapta, aprapta, I couldn't achieve this, I'm useless, I'm a failure, I'm a loser. That's one side of story. Then you achieve too much, oh, I am an overachiever, I am so and so, I am this, the arrogant side of it. Both don't occur to these people. Something good has happened, somebody comes and praises, not that they have to overtly. Some people are, ati vinayam durta lakshanam, they say. Too humbleness, too much of humility is the sign of crookedness. Some people are overtly humble, they make extra efforts to be humble. But those who are really humble don't make it known that they are humble, they just behave humbly, that's it. But some people use such words and so much of effort to prove to the others that they are so humble. So when somebody is being overtly humble, I tell, careful, this man is not truly humble. Especially when they write in the letters, yours humbly. I said, this is the only person who is not humble for sure. Yours is enough. You don't have to adjectify yourself, qualify yourself. Yours humbly, yours devotedly, yours faithfully, yours. That's maybe the English way of writing things. But too much of humble people, some people are there. You can few days they'll be very nice to you. Something goes wrong, they are the first to get triggered and go to the other side of things very quick, because this humility is just an emotion that is on display. It's not their true nature. As I said, a flower need not shout its fragrance. It is subtle. And no, it doesn't care whether anybody knows it is blooming in that forest or not. It just blooms for the sake of it. Doesn't make it known or announce its arrival. It stays as it is. So these humble people, how do you test whether it's truly humble or not? Don't give them attention. The moment you don't give them attention, you see all the humility disappears. They'll be miserable for first few days. Their verses will be like this small and long because you're not paying attention despite all that they have done, And then after a few days, that sadness will turn into anger. And after a few more days, if you don't pay attention, the anger will turn into vengeance. And after some more days, if you don't pay attention to this vengeance of theirs, that will lead to tremendous harm. They will harm you if they are not recognized. They'll harm you. They will not keep quiet. Maybe first few days, first few weeks, they'll keep quiet. Maybe a few months. But finally, they'll attack you. Because they feel their humility and their contributions and their kindness or whatever the sacrifice was not recognized by you. And I have seen plenty of such cases. And how do I know? I don't feel good about them. I don't feel good in their presence. Something doesn't connect. It's like oil and water. You mix it, it looks like it has all got merged, but immediately it separates itself. So like that, spirituality and worldliness doesn't mix. Many people come here, from politicians to leaders to social servants to spiritual leaders to gurus. Everybody seems to be very humble and nice, as long as you are giving them all the attention and putting on the pedestal. The moment you don't pay attention to them, you don't recognize their service or their greatness, you see the reaction. Put them on the second row, third row, and see the reaction. All humility disappears that very moment. And as I said, it's not enough if it disappears and they become quiet. No, they get angry. And after some time, they will badmouth, they'll go around expressing their displeasure. And finally, it all lead to some kind of a vengeance, vendetta, and harm at the end. But you are that self which is changeless, which is pure, which is selfless, which is peaceful. Then how do you even behave like this, is saying? If you behave like this, then as I say, the bell should ring in your head. A reminder should happen that you are deviating from your true nature. And because of that, you must immediately get back. Get back to your original self. And if that requires stop what you are doing, focus, withdraw, take a few minutes, do so. I keep telling every 1 hour you should put a alarm in your phone. People are now have water alarms. Even school, our schools also, we give water bell. So children will drink water. Otherwise, they don't drink enough water. They're not hydrated enough. Then they have constipation, all kinds of issues, which are unnecessary. So because of that bell, like that you put a bell that every 1 hour, let me check whether I'm on the path or I'm steady or I have deviated. Because that 1 hour of discussion and all kinds of things can cause some fluctuations. But FIR, as they say, frequency, intensity, and recovery should be the measure of your progress. And this doing thing also, I want to put a word that when we do things in the world, really we are not doing for truly others' sake. We are doing it for our own sake. When Tulsidas was asked, why did you write Ramcharitmanas? One story is that all the people come to know in simple language whatever Ramayana in Sanskritam is written by Valmiki should reach to the common masses. That was one. But he told, Swantasya Sukhaya Raghunathasya Gatha. For my own inner joy, I am singing the glory of Rama. Somebody reads it, so be it. Somebody does not read it, so be it. I believe there is a story that Hanuman also wrote Ramayana. And Valmiki also wrote Ramayana. And when Valmiki wanted to know whether his Ramayana is the best, Narada told, you go and check, Hanuman also has written, you go and see. And what did Hanuman do? He wrote in all the banana leaves of the garden. His own version of Ramayana. When Valmiki read even one leaf, he got a shock. It was so much more beautiful, it seems. And he became very sad. Then Hanuman asked, what happened? Why are you sad? Did you not like what is written? He said, no, it is so much better than mine. I thought I have written the best. Oh, that's all it is. He tore all the leaves. Hanuman said, I don't care. I'm not here to make my poetry or my literature known. I don't want to be famous because of my version of Ramayana. Whatever you've written, it's fine. And he tore it all away. Prapta nivruttaha. Free from all these achievements and not achieving these ideas. Such a person. So how important, see, I told these shlokas are very practical. In the last few shlokas, some practical tips that he has done is that few things that he said, what all you should be, sukha, dukkha, janma, mrityu, daiva, devit. It's all coming because of God's wish, not because of my own. Apada, sampada, it's all because of God's wish, not because of my own desires. Similarly, he says, chinta is not to be taken, to be done, thinking too much. Or kritam, akritam, what I could do, what I could not do, living in regrets also is not good. Then here, prapta, aprapta also is not good. So many of these things that we go through on a daily basis, it's not our true nature. So these are very practical slokas to check or assess our progress. The next sloka is on page number 117. It says, Nanashcharyamidam vishvam na kinchit iti nishchayi nirvasanah spurti matro na kinchit iva shamyati. What does this person of wisdom do? He looks at all the world around, the wondrous world. It's wonderful, isn't it? Nana, with different kinds of wonderments. Ashcharyam, idam vishvam, this world is full of. Every sunrise is an ashcharya, it's a wonder. Every sunset is a wonder. The hues in the skies are wonder. Blossoming of myriad flowers in the garden is a wonder. The butterflies with so many colors on their wings is a wonder. The wind is the wonder. The sunshine is wonder. The child's smile is a wonder. The intelligence of humans is a wonder. The innocence of animals is a wonder. What is not a wonder? It's a wonderland that we are living in, created by the divine. So he looks at everything with a wonder, with some sense of wonderment. Oh, how beautiful, how amazing, how perfect, how impeccable everything in this world is. He enjoys it. He is not saying, oh, it's all Maya after all, terrible magic show after all, it's not real after all. He knows it is not real. He knows it is. But just like we go and enjoy a magic show, it has what we call as entertainment value. So he's entertained by this wonderful thing that's happening all around. He looks everything with a sense of wonderment. Even sadness he looks at as wonderment only. Even losses and deaths and everything is a wonderment because this is how it's all designed. He looks at everything with great wonderment. It seems one person was there who was sleeping under an apple tree. And then he saw there were big pumpkins growing on thin branches, thin stems, thin tendrils, and lying on the floor. Whereas the small apples were growing in such a robust, thick, big apple tree. He said, God does not know how to do things properly. For such big pumpkins, all he gave is these thin tendrils. And for such small apples, he gave huge, thick branches. Just then an apple falls on his head. And then he says, Ashcharyam, everything is correct. It couldn't have been the other way around if a pumpkin had fallen on his head at all. So he enjoys the world. He enjoys the world but does not allow the world to enjoy him. Does not become so dependent on the world that he is getting consumed by the world. He uses the world but does not allow the world to use him. He lives in the world but does not allow the world to live in him. That dispassion, that detachment is there. He behaves as if he's super interested in everything and he's really into it. And next moment he can just drop it like that and walk away without a care. He lives in that moment. Children are the best example. When they are in it, they're fully in it. They play, they make castles out of sand on the beach with such great interest. They make a moat around, they make passages through the castle or whatever that they've created. They put a flag and they enjoy. And just when everything is getting over, the darkness is setting in, the sun is setting, what do? They kick it, break it, destroy it, and enjoy it equally. And there's a competition who destroys it first and who destroys it faster. Somebody would think 2 hours, this little boy or a girl was such intensity, such focus, such concentration, they were building that sand castles. And it keeps falling. Every time you try to dig a tunnel out of it, it will fall out of its own. Again, the child will start. 2.5 hours, I keep watching these children doing it, especially if you are near a beach. If we are small kids, we used to go to Vishakhapatnam in holidays, summer holidays. This was the favorite pastime. Go in the evening when the summer heat is little low, around 4:35, take a bus. It will straight take you to the Vuda Park or Ramakrishna Beach. Get down there and straight go to the seaside and make sand castles. For 2 hours, 2.5 hours, everybody is intently working. So much of interest and which is bigger, which is smaller, we're comparing with each other. But at the end of it, when the call comes from the guardian, let's go, the bus is going to leave. Let's have to get back to our homes. Immediately we will get up and kick the castle and destroy it and smash it. Enjoy that process also. That is why Nana Ascharyam Idam Vishwam. Everything gets created, stays and gets destroyed. As if God is creating castles of sand when it wants, God wants, and then He destroys it after enjoying it for some time. Like that, days happen, nights happen, seasons change, people are born, people die. All this is wonderment. The flowers bloom, flowers fade. Everything is wonderment. This is the view of a jnani. And then, na kinchiditi, and nothing other than this, just a wonderment, a wonderland that I've gotten myself into. Like Alice in Wonderland, you see so many wonderful things happen. That's all. It is a wonderland. It is a magic land. You just enjoy it without insisting on taking anything back with you, or without insisting on the permanence of whatever is being enjoyed. Know that it will be temporary, but nevertheless, don't stop enjoying it. Enjoy it. But with this dispassion and detachment. That's all it is. See, I go to so many people's home around the world. They give me so many nice things to use. A very nice bed, a room, cushions, nice duvets, beautiful things in the room, articles, food and nice cutlery, and they lay out a beautiful dinner table, make so many things. I enjoy it all. That is, they're done out of their love and concern. We enjoy it. But do I insist that I want to take all this with me or I want to stay permanently in that place? No. I must move on. The other day I was singing a song, Musafir hu yaro, na ghar hai na ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है बस चलते जाना. मुसाफिर हूँ मैं यारों, न घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है बस चलते जाना. I am a traveler. I cannot stay in one place. Thank you for that. It's a beautiful song. It says, I'm just a traveler. It's a travel that I undertake. Every morning I wake up when the sun rises and I continue traveling. And at the night I halt by the wayside shelter, night shelter. And I live and I use the shelter as it is needed. And next morning I am very clear, this is not my permanent home. And these people around me are not my permanent relations. We were all people who took shelter in that lodge by the wayside. But my goal is elsewhere. I must continue. I cannot sit there. And even if you make very good friends in the night shelter, we all know this friendship is only going to last till morning. Today we have phones and others to get back to each other. But in those days, you just pack your bags and start walking the next morning. So this idea is very important, that this world is a night shelter and our soul is on a journey. And in this night shelter, we meet our husbands and wives and sons and daughters and friends and enemies. But all this will last only for this one night. And the next morning, when the sun rises again, we must pack our bags, say our byes, and move on. Neither the enemies are permanent nor friends are permanent. All the joys which we experienced are not permanent. All the sorrow that we experienced were not permanent. The only permanent thing is our journey. That is the idea. So you have to remember these great values that Ashtavakra Gita is teaching. Enjoy the night shelter. Yes, you have to have a shower, then you'll have your food, you will chat with some new travelers, you'll make good friends, you will share stories, you'll share experiences, you'll laugh, you'll cry together. You can go to sleep and wake up and move on. To that extent only this world should be given value in our lives. More than that, if you give, then it's going to hurt us. So musafir hu yaro. I'm just a traveler. You enjoy the world with wonderment, like a baby which enters a new place. It is so curious. It wants to touch, taste, smell, experience, put everything in its mouth and understand what it is like, right? All babies are so curious. It's beautiful to see them curious and they enjoy it. Next moment they leave everything and go away and start getting attracted by something else and they go there. Nirvasanaha spurti matra. So what is your nature? Your nature is nirvasanaha, without any impressions or desires or past instincts. Vasana in Telugu means smell, scent or a smell. Like if you put jasmine flowers in a piece of paper, even if you have taken out the flowers, the smell of the flower remains in the piece of paper. Similarly, Bhagavan used to say, if you put dry fish in a piece of paper and later you throw away the dry fish, the paper will still stink of the dry fish. Likewise, our associations with the world bring certain impressions to us, like the smell, vasana. In Sanskrit, vasana means instincts or deep down those impressions which we have carried from many lifetimes. But in Telugu, it means smell. But like the smell stays, even if the object is thrown away, the container still smells. Like that, even if we have lived the previous life, we made enemies, friends, but those impressions and experiences stay with us. And they shape our thinking and how we behave in today's times. They come along with us. That's why some children are born very bright. They are prodigies. They're musicians. They are good, kind-hearted people. Some children are notorious. They cannot be controlled. Who taught them all these things when they were born? Nobody taught them. Then how did they learn? They brought it with them. These impressions of the past are called vasana. Also, these impressions lead to the desire in this world, because somebody whose aptitude is, money because of the previous impressions. In this birth also, he will first pursue his money. That's why in front of babies, when we put things, there's a ritual we do that. We feed the baby and then we put things in front of the baby. There are books which are kept, there are toys that are kept, the money that is kept, like that. And we would watch, what would this baby, it's a toddler, what will it go and do? So it will simply crawl towards one of these things, attracted by it. And that's how the elders kind of understood, okay, this baby is interested in money or interested in knowledge or interested in fun or interested in whatever other things they keep, God, photos of God and things like that. And that's how the elders used to understand the vasana of the baby from the previous lives. Now we don't have these rituals also. But those days it was like that. Now with all probability, if you keep an iPhone there, they will go and catch the phone only now because it is attractive. But the real thing is that in old days they used to test like this. Because babies are pure, they're innocent, they're honest. They call spade a spade. They don't want to, modify or behave to suit your likes and dislikes. So nirvasana become like that, desireless, vasana-less, without any of those past impressions that were affecting you. You may still have those instincts, but you are acutely aware that these are my instincts. This is not my intuition. This is pushing me to do things because of my old habits. So you are quickly able to recover from that. And then spurti matro, I am only spurti. Spurti is something that has emanated from within, something that has emerged from within, like a spring, something that sprung up from within, spurti. Enthusiasm, also that which has sprung up from within. That is what I am, which is the divine self I am. Na kinchit iva. All this wonderment that I'm watching around this wonderland, none of this is me. All these relationships is not me. That supreme self which is within me, that alone is me. That is how one should look at the world. And that is how one should be able to cross over the attachments to things and people, including one's own body. And this idea of preserving and saving and looking after the body. So, this is the essence of these shlokas. Please contemplate on it, because if you don't do mananam, it is not going to become yours. It will still remain a borrowed knowledge. You have to make it yours. And you can make it yours only by assimilating it and making it a part of yourself. So please do the rest of the steps, Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam.